according to vicious rumour. So, I guess if we're live, the 110, the Keyhole 110 should make a move. But first I have to load passengers, of course, so what we're going to call loading passengers is actually going to be me moving some of this stuff so I can sit down and but basically I can talk to you, can't I? I can load up the TV as well, because sort of did one of those things where you just notice the time and go, ah, yes, it's kind of time to go, isn't it? But you may notice things are afoot. See the light on that? You can. Part of me still thinks that's a really cool feature of the. Get rid of the cork dust off there. Yeah, otherwise that will drive me insane later. What do you mean, drive you insane? You are insane. What? Who said that? But yes. Hopefully everyone is well. Hopefully everyone is good. I'm just going to load up the chat so we can see what you lovely people are saying. And I know the text is backwards. Oh no. Hideous things, the text is backwards. I really didn't enjoy the stream through the computer the other night. It was pretty awful for me. Because you're trying to keep the connection going and all the rest of it, and this just worked so much better for me, so this is the way we're doing it. Okay. And Kombawa to the highballing hogger. How are you, my finest of chums? Hope you are well. Kombawa Anthony, another of the finest of my chums. How are you, sir? So I'm just getting the chat up on here. Ooh, Kato D51. Hang on a minute. Let me add this video to watch later. See, Anthony has several videos up about the parody songs, which is very cool. You should go and check those out, folks. And I have to check those out, folks. So once this loads up here, thank you for the like. Chill out on the deck watching me. Oh, thank you very much. And chilling out sounds very good. Aha! Ah, I have the chat. I have me moving. So, yes! Talking of me moving. It's only a small unit, so let's get it running. So, I do start with a bit of an apology, folks. But I trust you'll understand. Is that we are operating single line today. This is because things are afoot, and you may even notice some of this if I get a pointed device sort of here. You can see there is some different green. It looks a bit wet and a bit damp. Ooh. Because I've actually got some grass down. I finally have some grass down. That is drying, but of course it is super close to the inner track. I had to get some grass on the inner track. So just while that all dries off, before I can get the hoover in to take that away, yeah, we're going to be running just the outer loop today. So hopefully you can bear with me on that one. But I'm really excited to say the first trees have gone in, the first Sakuras are in on Sakura Adventure version 2. I've just ordered my cover to go across the front of the table at shows. My custom cover, it like 20 quid I think, including postage. So I thought, well, you know, give it a whirl, because hey, how bad is it going to be? But yeah, that should cover the full distance, and it's actually the channel artwork. And I'm thinking, when I'm not using it at shows, I might, well, if it's any good, basically I'll get another one, and I'll have it on the wall there behind me as well for these well, for these streams, and because hey, I'm kind of proud of that. Konbawa, King Fox Junction. How are you, sir? So yeah, sorry, I didn't intend to do a 20-minute ramble earlier on my post-show thoughts and everything, but that's the way it turned out, and you know, at least it's all committed now. And again, I'd hope that I would hope that it might help if anyone's thinking about doing a show. They might be able to see that and think, oh, actually, do you know what wasn't too bad? But yeah, oh, we see got some other people coming in. Good evening, Brad. Konbawa, how are you? Konbawa, Hermitage Road, how are you, sir? Mini trees, also known as broccoli, yes. Yes, so these trees, well, I can show you. I've got my bag. Got on a much earlier date. But yes, so these are Sakuras. I know a few people were quite a fan of these on the old layout. These the exact ones. I rescued all of these, and those are the other trees I'm using. I've got some different shades of green involved. So yes, but there are some on there now. I intend to have quite the forest next to the shrine. But yes, so yeah, I started to get some grass down here. I'm really pleased on my own part that I was able to hit the ground running with that and carry on doing it, because obviously I was working under pressure before and I'd almost done nothing, and suddenly worked under pressure and got all of this done as it appeared at the show. But yeah, it was. I'm pleased for myself that I've been able to keep that momentum going and carry on with it. I want to see it develop now. And of course I should say thank you, Brad, for the ice cream. I promptly shared it with my brand new t-shirt. Come on, you. You're going to fly in my face, so that's what you get. If you stay over there, you'll be fine. But yes, so yes, for anyone that's joining fresh, just as an overall thing again, we're only running the outer loop tonight just because there's grass gone down. You can just see in this area here, grass gone down in that area, so the inner track is closed to traffic at the minute. I might try and find something up. Sounds really wrong because I did get some grass on the outer line too, just loose, no glue. Same with what's on the inner track really. And I thought, have I got a sacrificial train that I don't mind running that might pick up something? And this is what I picked, because I've got some more of these. Another one of them. But since then I did get the mini handheld hoover up and took all the excess off that outer line. I don't want to do it on the inner line because it gets too close then to where it actually is trying to dry in a minute. So we can run a slightly more interesting train than that in a moment. But I thought, hey, why not? Let's start with this. You know, little trains need love too. But yes, so for those who've had a bank holiday today, how have you enjoyed it? For those of you who haven't, I hope the day has gone as smooth as possible. Remember, you've all taken part in the chat. You know, you're more than welcome to share links for your upcoming video, upcoming videos and that sort of thing. You know, do. You're more than welcome, Brad. You're more than welcome. Hopefully you have a nice day out with your lad. I say superbly, but every child that came was superbly behaved. The children of all ages, of course, from 0 to 300 years old. The 301-year-olds were a bit awkward, but you know, we have to deal with them as we deal with them. But yes, it was just an absolute joy. Everyone I met was so nice to me. I've made new friends, I like to think, some ones in the model railway community, some new friends. Yeah, you know, Martin, who was next to me on the layout next to my left. So Brad, as you went from me onto the next one with all the lights, that's Martin's layout. he recommended I join the group on Facebook. Now, for many of you who don't know, some of you won't know, some of you will, I really locked down my Facebook, shut a lot of it down because I didn't really want to use it. I don't like what Meta does, I don't agree with what Meta does. And however, I kept it for communication with two of my good chums. And but he said this group's a really good way because the exhibition managers look at it for looking for layouts and that sort of thing. So I went on there, introduced myself, put my profile picture up, and that, you know, and yeah, just updated it there. So yeah, some of you have seen that, and through that though, one of the chaps I spoke to at pack-up time, who was also waiting around us, so the people that have to be first out the door almost to go first, they were waiting as well. I was having a chat with them, looked at their layout, and one of the chaps from theirs added me as a friend on Facebook now as well. So it's really nice to, yeah, it's great. It's great, and that's it. Keeps that friends we make thing. Bank holiday and kind. Yes. Yes, oh blimey. Indeed. Hey, don't talk about us old folks. We have feelings. You're not 301 Dale. For goodness sake, man. Oh dear. Dear. Kind of girls could go 3 days a week. Yes. Kids do that. Not been a good day. It's been 4 years. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, King Fox. Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry, really am. But remember, while there's a memory of her, she's never truly gone. That's honestly believe that. I don't believe in an afterlife and everything, but as such, but there's a rainbow bridge for dogs and cats, so there's got to be something for us humans, I suppose, in a way. But people never go until you forget about it. That's how I feel about my dad and my grandparents and that now is, yeah. Once we don't forget them, they're still with us. But yes, sympathetic hug, I think, yes, exactly right, Anthony. Exactly right. But hopefully we can, yeah, distract you a little bit. Well said there, Brad. King Fox, I believe you also do some Airfix kits, don't you? You do some model kit making as well. Because I think we reconnected on Rob the Builder's channel. Yeah, so yes, I'm sure she wanted to be happy. But yeah. Yeah, right. Well, we are going to stick to just the hour today. So I'm a bit overdue for a chat with another friend of mine. So yes, we'll have a chat with him afterwards. And also, I've done enough streams for single track running. I've got used to the 2-track running now. What I'd really like, in some regards, is I'd like to have the same style as Anthony's layout, where you've got all the lanes and you can have more than just 2 trains running at once. It would save me having to change trains. Rainbow Bridge for Cats and Dogs, yeah. It was something I got off the dog accounts. They don't say they've died. They say they've gone over the Rainbow Bridge. I think that's really nice. But yeah. So I will cast my eyes about and see what I haven't run for a bit, and we'll look at running that. But that was one of the. I said I was going to run that streamlined electric, didn't I? We'll wait till both tracks are fully operational again to run that. I really don't want that thing packing up on me. But no, the layout, it behaved itself really well over the weekend. It was interesting to note the DCC layouts that I saw getting set up whilst I went to the loo once mine was running. It was still, oh, that's not right, that's shorting. Oh, that's not right, that's shorting. And I thought, there is something to be said for the joy of an analog layout where you just think it moves. But of course, mine is so simple. It's 2 loops with each with a separate power. Oh, he's on soon, is he? Oh, wonderful. I do enjoy his stream. He's such a happy guy, isn't he? She loves me doing the layout when I started doing models last year. Ah, you see, I knew, thought you'd done models. Yeah, yeah, excellent. Yes, I do remember hearing about your wife when we did the streams during COVID, of course. We did, yeah. Ah, blimey, yeah. Pringle Mountain. I did think about trying to put a Pringle Mountain on here, but it doesn't kind of fit in with the aesthetic I want for it. Might have Pringle Hill or something. Pringle. It needs Pringle Can. Because I can't eat the Pringles in a minute to get the empty tin. All Pringle eater volunteers, one pace forwards. No, trouble is, wherever it would go now, it would make putting trains on and off a little bit awkward for me. I can just about get one on in the station. I can get one on in the station just about. But at shows, I did really like having that back open to me. To do stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I've been quite busy. I put some cork in that corner over there. The triangle of it gone in there to fill the gap. Start filling that bit up. And then I put a bit down the side of where the farmhouse is. There's a strip to make a pathway to the paddy fields that side. I'm going to put a thinner strip, one of these pieces, along the other side. It's just about the right width to my eyes for an engaged person to walk on. So yeah, and I've got another one of these then that I can make a couple of side strips. I need some to Pringle Mountain. We'll have to have a think. Once the secret train is fully here, well, the most important part of the secret train is fully here, which is actually all the control cars, then I'll be able to judge these things a bit better. Because in the minute, I'm not even sure the station's going to stay this length. I'd like it to, but there's a chance it might need to shorten a little bit, because the nose on the new train just stick out a little bit. But until I know what the swing's going to be like, I'm a bit apprehensive including stuff down. The inner track would be fine. And to be honest, that the secret train would run fine on the inner track, regardless. The one we've got shut down at the minute. Yes, I've got to say it's really cool. As the day's gone on, I've been watching the glue dry here because that's as exciting as it gets. But seeing the grass coming through more and more, it really does start to look proper. Over there, it's really making a difference. So yes, what I've done for the wooded area is I've used Anthony's technique for a start, and that's working a treat. So no need to panic there, Anthony. That is working a treat so far from what I can see. Where before I put the grass down, just paint PVA over the entire area I'm going to put it into, then put the grass down, then put the mixed PVA over the top. That's worked a treat. So in that area, because it is meant to be the forest, I've used the Woodland Scenics Fine Turf first, which is over there at the minute. You've been using the weight for the cork, so I can't really touch it. But it's the darker stuff. And then I've added the WW Scenics spring grass over the top. The left patches of the dark one to show through. Because yeah, the majority should be the spring grass only, but I wanted it under the under the trees. It's going to stay a bit damper and stuff, so yeah, there's just some variation over there. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to go for. I mean, I don't know. It might be cool to do that over the entire, all the grass areas and layout, have that base and then do up a bit. But I think outside it gives a bit more variation. Oh yes, that's the forest because that's where the grass is darker. So inspired by the corridor layout at the SVR yesterday, my son and I are going to make one for his bedroom, mount on the wall. Mallard is the training once, good lad. Ah, very cool, very cool. But yes, Dale, we'll try and work out something for Pringle Mountain. Maybe in that corner over there. Once I've got the secret train. Now, Anthony saw the box during our Wednesday night chat, and I could wave the box at you. There's part B. There's part A, part B, and part C. This is part B. Look, secret train. But that's as much as you're getting. I mean, the update on that is they gave me a heart attack at the end of last week because it was meant to come out in June. And that's okay. I budgeted for it for June. Brilliant. It goes in. Oh, it's now coming out. I had an email at the end of last week. It's coming out in May. What? What? No. No, you don't. You can't do that to me. So I thought it was a bit naughty because that's mucking you about just as much as cancelling a pre-order last minute, surely. So I was like, okay, what can we do? What can we do? And then by the time that was before I left for work, by the time I got to work and I sat down, it said update. Now late June. Sorry, late May. Sorry, late May. Okay. When's late May? So I asked as co-pilot actually what's considered to be late May, and it said basically from the 20th to the end. So, well, that's all right. Then it falls back in. Because I get paid on 22nd, so that falls back into what would be June's budget anyway. Fine. Ugh. But it does mean though, hopefully, the secret train won't have to remain a secret for as long as it was. The corridor layout, was that the German one, Brad? It was quite along the tracks, all wound through the forest sort of thing a little bit. That sort of one. The Countryman. Because I thought, I didn't see a train run on that one, but I thought that was beautiful. I didn't see a lot of the layouts, I will admit. New video out about the Classic 6. Feel free to share a link if you want Hermitage Road. There's no problem there at all, sir. No problem at all. I'm more than happy for you to share links. Oh, see, you've got another couple of likes. Thank you very much. It's appreciated, not expected. But yeah, a couple of things I've done on the layout which I've learned from the show. One of which is Thomas was really popular sat by the station, so I have got a piece of track gluing down at the minute. It's got one of my double-ended electrics on it because they have motor and weight in both units. For traction effort reasons, of course. So it's a nice heavy loco that almost fits the entire length of the track. So I've got that piece of track gluing down just by the station. And that's probably where Thomas will sit for the most of the time. I probably won't run Thomas as often. He did run super well. But I think it just works him having him there. Because there were a couple of times over the entire weekend where, I want to see Thomas run. Okay, put Thomas on, and the kid just walks off. And it's like, that's fine, I'll just put Thomas on. So, second day, I was quick at just keeping the other engine I'd taken off to put Thomas on, just swapping it back. But I think if he just sits there, and the story can be that Thomas is just saying hello to all his friends. As they come past. It is Japanese Thomas, of course. I was supposed to be able to keep me occupied. Oh, right, what have you got on the go at the minute then, King Fox? Yeah. That's something I didn't do on the computer. I can do it after the stream. I need to emailed the Swindon exhibition manager about seeing if they want it to come, and that would just be brilliant for someone whose favourite UK railway. I mean, I love them all, but my favourite one is the Great Western. I don't make a secret of that. And to think that I will be able to operate a layout, okay, my Japanese trains, but operate a layout on the site of the, on the site of Swindon Works, where they built all those fabulous Great Western engines and carriages and wagons and everything. It's just wow, an honour. It's a bit like the fact that my layout was locked and alarmed in the same building. Sorry, locked. Yeah, was in the same building that was locked and alarmed. That also houses Sir Nigel Gresley's top hat and briefcase overnight. I said to the chap that had organised the show, Lewis. I said to him, was the ghost of Gresley sort of wandering around, do you think, having a look at all the layouts? He said, no, that was him. He said, I've had a little bit of a player, so I should have left you a train to play with them. Because I brought them all home with me overnight. And that's something I'm going to have to try and get worked out a bit more, is the insurance on you, because when I made my filled the original form, I was informed by my friend, a friend of mine who knows about shows and things, that the cost of the insurance is what it would also cost for someone to actually totally remake the layout, so the hours involved in building it and all the rest of it, as well as the stock and everything else. So, but when I was originally going, all I thought I was going to have was a bare table, circle track on, and then just a few trains. I was going to take the trains home with me, so I was like, it really, Unitrack is Unitrack. Yes, it's annoying. It'd be annoying to have to pay for the replacement of it, but whereas now I have a layout, so and I just took that risk over the weekend. If something had happened, but at least I had the trains with me. So it was one of those, but it's definitely for the next one I have to take that into consideration more, because hopefully it's never needed, of course. 2 helicopters, 1 tank, some ruins, and some social. Nice. So what helicopters and what tank are my next question? My next questions. Do feel free to share a link. Wonderful. Yeah, King Fox is a fine chap. Absolutely fine chap. Excuse me, I have to get a drink. That's the other thing I learned, is I need to keep my drink up more. I did spell better on the Sunday than I did the Saturday, but that was it. Nice. And the helicopters are? So are you going to do a typhoon to make that panther nervous to go out? But many miles a day, most stuff at the fate of the firework. That seemed to be quite a common thing at one point in time, but they were essentially toys at one point to a lot of people. And still are to some. I mean, let's face it, I think they are to me. I may not actively play with them, but have a lot of fun. Right. We'll get something a bit more interesting than a single car unit on. But it's nice to see it run, it's something different. Alright, what have we got? What have we got that I can put on that I haven't on for a while? Tell you what, let's put that. This is the one I should have run longer yesterday. Kiku Type 230. It's not what I called it earlier on in the video. Western Sea King and Apache, very nice, very nice. What's the scheme for the Apache again? Which force is it going to be? I suppose I could ask that for the Sea King as well, but being a Westland, I assume it's going to be Navy or RAF. Is that the Airfix 48 or 72? The Sea King? Sorry, so many questions. If you need to ask them again, I will do. This is one of those that I should run a lot more than I do. It's quite a pretty train. Which is why I should have run it more yesterday, because it was actually a nice bright colour. Right. Now yesterday it's kept derailing. Today it's just decided to leave half its train behind. Well, say a third of its train behind. Sorry, two. There's 3 coaches behind basically. But now we're back. There we go. So something hopefully a little bit more interesting than a single car unit. '72 is the Sea King, the Sea Rescue helicopter. Ah, very nice. And as well, and it's doing its box. Fair play, yeah. Nice one. Is that the one that Prince William flew? I know they did one as the Sea Rescue in the starter set. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Nice. Nice. See, it's also got a special scheme, like something 90 years of the Scorpion or something like that on the side, which is very, very cool. Yeah. Anthony, your comment interested me. The 3 shows, 3 YouTubers, Japanese out every single one of them. That's very cool. It's good to know there are more of us out there. Though when it came through, I was talking to Greg and I said, right, that's it, sell all the Japanese. We need something more obscure to model. And all UK, wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. So at least one of those, I would suspect, at least one of those would be the people I know who, the only other ones I've seen so far. Possibly even both of the other ones, because it's a bit of a family thing, I believe. And there's some members of their club now they've got to help them. So, yeah. But the big news I can say is I will be back at the Severn Valley next year. So anyone who missed me this year, you can come and see me in an updated Sakura Adventure version 2. You know, a year's worth of work to do on it. Yeah. Seems a long time, but I'm sure it would. You know, I know they say a out's never finished. I always think to me there is a finished state, which is right. That is done pending changes. Whereas at the minute I can still see obviously there's bits I need to put cork down on. There's obviously a lot more terrain stuff I need to do, the grass and trees, and there's building stuff, there's lights to be added, there's stuff I've got to do that I can see quite quickly at a glance. I think it gets to a point where you go, okay, that's presentable. It's, you know, it looks good. It's good. It looks good enough to me to be presentable. Anything now, it would be changing areas. If I was going to carry on working on it, it'd be changing or adding to. But it's sort of the base level that I'd be happy with it, and so I'd like to think in a year I've got it finished to that sort of level. I'd hope it wouldn't take me quite that long to do it to that sort of level, and then we can see how we go. I know I want to add more some actual houses to it on this right hand side. I'm looking forward to getting the paddy fields in, so there's a bit of reflective goodness going on over there. There's going to be quite a difficult one to do, which is I want two of the same figure in a kimono, ideally, or in traditional dress, to be walking alongside the paddy field, and I want one stood up, just normal, and one at 90 degrees, reflecting in the water, in the water, as a reflection, but with a foxtail at the very least, and possibly fox ears, because in the folklore of Japan, a kitsune, a fox, they can all shapeshift, but if one is shapeshifted into a human, or any other thing I think really, but someone that, say I was kitsune, I shapeshifted, if I was to hold up something reflective, you would see my ears and my tail in the reflection. So I kind of want to play on that and have that in there. Well, again, one of those things for people who know will know. Otherwise, it may be something that gets asked about. And I love the amount of children I introduced to Totoro over the weekend. Looking at parents and carers going, "Have you got Netflix?" Yeah, Totoro. Spelt like it is on this hat here. It's very kid friendly. Grave of the Fireflies. For those who know Ghibli, Grave of the Fireflies isn't on Netflix, so it's all pretty safe. I shapeshift, just depends on how much I eat and how much I exercise. Oh dear. Yes. Yes, I think I can do that one too. But yeah, it's something I want to do, and I'd like to get an inn as well. I think I've got a spot for an inn. And I'd like to, and I saw an abandoned inn. I want to make it look all sort of derelict and abandoned. I want it to have really thin walls, because again, there's a story in my book of yokai about such an inn that is abandoned, and it was haunted. That's the reason it became abandoned in the first place. There's a whole story about how it became abandoned. And I'll bore you with it now. So basically, there was an inn, and one of the rooms was said to be haunted. People refused to go in there, all the rest of it. So the inn owner hired some contractors to come and basically demolish the room, close off what would have been the doorway, demolish it. They all fell sick and refused to ever come back and sort it out. The local lord got to hear about this and sent a samurai to investigate. Whilst there, the samurai met a monk and another, I can't remember it does actually name who else he met whilst he was waiting to go into this room. He was in the inn and he drank tea with them. And he was sort of talking to them, turned away, turned back, they'd gone. They'd vanished. So the samurai went back to his lord and reported this, and the lord said, at the time you described, I was having tea with those same two people here in person. So ultimately the lord gave the innkeeper some new land to build a new inn on, and the old one became abandoned. And the artwork in my book of yokai shows various yokai in there, sort of at play, as it were. So what I'd like to do is get an inn building with thin walls, so it lets a lot of light bleed through. For once, I want light bleed. Not often you hear a model say that, but I want light bleed. Even if it means I have to thin the walls out a bit to do it. And what I'd like to do is put a light source in the middle, possibly one of my iridescent ones, because that would make it even cooler. Not the iridescent, my flickering ones, because that would make the effect even cooler, make the images look like dancing. But then like have shadow cutouts of different yokai all around between the, it can even be right up against the wall. And so as the light shows and light bleeds through, there'll be shadows on the wall of all the yokai inside. And again, just to reference that story and bring some more of the culture in. Picture you couldn't get the figures in the TV series Monkey, you could do a scene of that. Well, it's funny to say that, because not Monkey, but some of the, the animes and so on that I've watched over the years, from Girls and Panzer, the first one technically Pokemon, but I'd like to get something relating to that on there. But yeah, Girls and Panzer was the first one. I do have a plan for that. It's going to involve 3D printing, but yes, I do have a plan for that. I need to talk to those people who do 3D printing that I know. It involves a Great War tank and some schoolgirls. But basically the premise of Girls and Panzer is it's schoolgirls in tanks, and they have non-lethal tank battles where the tank can be knocked out. They fire shells, the tank suffers so many hits, a bit like laser tag, is out. It was basically a series created to get the Japanese into World of Tanks. Whether it was successful or not, I don't know. There's a separate video game that came out for it anyway. But a reference to that would be great, to have the tanks or derelict sat somewhere and them just sort of discovering it, because that's how the main cast find their vehicles, because the school didn't do this tank thing for a while, and now they're getting back into it to find all their old ones, and some of them are in swamp, one of them is in a pond and stuff like that, so I thought that might be kind of cool. Anyway, but I need a 1/150th scale tank. And if I'm going to have one, I'm going to have a Great War tank. But anyway, so yes, but the other ones will be like Demon Slayer, say. I'll have the 3 characters, one bare-topped with his boar's head on, but the other 2 just wearing the right colour kimonos with the box on the back of one of them, of course. For those who know the series. And they'll just be in the street. And the idea is that, of course, there is that hopefully, apart from the fact that one guy's got a boar's head, it's just a mask, a hat he puts on, sort of thing. It would just look like some normal people, but then to those who know, it will be the characters from Demon Slayer. They go, hang on a minute, that's the sort of thing I want to include. And there will be a spot there as well. And apart from can you see a shrine, can you see a Torii Gate, and that sort of thing, I also want the character Fuzzy from the Morose Wallachia. I do want the 2 main characters in that and Fuzzy with them. But there'll be other Fuzzies I want to dot around, because they're going to be quite easy to make. I've had a go. And they'll be dotted around, and if you can spot them all, you get a sticker. But yeah, so yes, absolutely, King Fox. You know, that idea is very much a good one, because that's exactly what I'm going to be going with. Just not necessarily monkey. As I haven't personally, I've seen possibly the first episode of it years ago. My father was still alive when I saw it. But yeah, it's also using that to tell my story with Japan, I suppose, with Japan as well as the train. As I was saying to people the weekend, I came into it through the trains, and then it's just developed into the culture of the country, and one day I fully intend to go there. I'm going to continue to have my video that plays. One kid declared the layout the best one there just because it had a video to watch, which I was like, I mean, I could save a fortune. We all just took a video of our layout. But no, if that's what made him happy, that's what made him happy. And I'm really pleased that that's what he liked. And so I think ultimately, yes, at some point I'm going to need a bigger table to have some things at the side. But it's obviously, again, what fits in the car as well. I know this full board will fit in the car, and I'd have room for the iPad and the controllers on that side. So if I can find a table that big, wonderful. It only has to be one that's sturdy enough to take the weight of the layout of the controllers. It's not going to be lens on or anything. And easy to set up, easy to carry, set up by one person. Because it has to be. I don't want to put people in a position where they feel like they're letting me down. I don't want to be only able to do it if I can rely on someone else being there. I did have officer help to set this one up, and I said no thank you, just on the basis I wanted to try it. I did explain I wanted to try setting it up myself just to make sure I could do it all myself, just in case. But yeah. So I'm very excited for all this. Really am very excited for all this. It's another new chapter in my life. We've had quite a few of those over the past couple of months. It's definitely a new chapter in my life, and I'm going to embrace it with both hands and really go with it, because it was such a positive experience over the weekend. And the fact that I can, or you folks can watch it grow with me as well. I need a bigger house. My layout's getting bigger now. I'm building these models. So taking the yes. We all need an aircraft hangar at least. One that can take about 17 B-52s should be about ideal for each of us. or in some of our cases, this will really test some people's aircraft knowledge. 17 B-36s. Would that be about right for your collection, Hogger? But yes, one day it'll be one of 3 layouts, of course, and I will be incorporating some of these things onto those other layouts as well, in different ways, different scenarios maybe. There's going to be a bigger one in here eventually. Once the windows have all been sorted, there'll be one in the garage. It's all going to be the same, I think. You know, I'm just totally loving it. I'm in the zone. I'm never saying never on other things, but yeah, totally in the zone. And I don't think the only thing I will say is I don't think I'm going to be going back to TT at all. I would have considered last weekend. I was very much thinking about it again, and it's going to be wonderful. The stuff that's coming out is going to be wonderful. Mother Napier is coming out, of course, in the form of the Deltic. The Terrier looks gorgeous. I've held the Terrier test model and everything. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. But I have found my home is here. My home is with this. You know, think of it because obviously I still tend to do some of my HO stuff. You know, that's the one where I say never on doing other things. But it's very much similar for those who know Anthony's stream and Anthony's setup. He's got his first and foremost is Era 6 Bear Clip. That's his bread and butter. I hope I'm not overstepping the mark here, Anthony. But then he's got the 2-rail track set up down there on the floor. Well, on the floor anymore, but it's on the little table he built underneath. And that's sort of his, you know, he's able to accommodate his other interests there. In the UK trains, he does also have an American train I know that now runs down there, but the UK stuff is that's where it runs. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a similar thing for me. Yeah, 20B17s, 10B24s, 35B51s, 48 just a few. Yeah, so you definitely need an aircraft hangar that's big enough to take 17 real B36s. So to fill the rest of you in, the B-52 is a big aeroplane, the B-36 is bigger. There's not a lot in it actually. When I've seen the scale models near each other, not next, not even right next to each other, but near each other. But yeah, the B-36 is a sizable aeroplane. It's substantially, it's noticeably larger. So yes, so to store Dale's collection in, he's going to need a hangar capable of taking 17 of those. And this was something else I was discussing with someone on Saturday morning was one of the things I'd like to include on the HO layout. I'd like to be able to run some Chinese locos I was able to get them. However, I do also remember being told that there are Chinese locos going to be available, steam locos going to be available in N-gauge, or in scale they will be in. And it makes a lot. I am wondering, and Anthony, I want to chat with you on this on Wednesday, of course, to see what you think, but I'm thinking it might make more sense for me to get a lot more of this stuff in scale. On the main basis that, I mean, I'm still going to do some of the HO stuff because I can run my Great Western stuff on there as well then. But you know, it's, if I get them in N scale, they can roll on this track. And but as I was saying to this lad on Saturday morning, you know, a QJ, you know, the big Chinese steam loco, I had one of those in HO. It was enormous. It was a monster. Some of you may remember it. Enormous, great bloody thing. And you'd need, no word of a lie, you'd need an aircraft hangar to build a layout with sufficient space to run a prototypical train with it. I mean, they double head those suckers. And it's just like, yeah, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to do. So, yeah. So in N scale, it'd be kind of cool. But honestly, I'm sure we'll talk more about it on Wednesday. So it's like, break the 6 or 7. I'm only been working on it now. And Dory King Fox, that's many years of collecting for Dale there. And also the price was a lot better, wasn't it, mate? For the same models. But yes, I'm hoping that there'll be some more videos coming out from the show. There were some people taking pictures of videos of the layout, so I'm hoping might see 1 or 2 clips of it on there. I have 1500 25-28mm tape hot middle of models. Could make crash joke, but won't. About well, I've got this model. Yes, I'll leave you to imagine that one. It says like you do have the whole 8th Air Force. Well, you're attempting it. Every single airframe they ever flew. Oh dear. But yeah, so I say I'm hoping to find some more videos of the show. I've seen one which didn't have me in. I could hear me in the background actually at one point in it, but yes, I'm hoping there might be some videos coming up. It was good to meet Brian as well. Just a train tabletop deals in it, can't get it. You can't indeed, yes. Giving it a go, yes, absolutely, sir. As you should, as you should. Amazing. It's amazing stuff. Incredible stuff. And the formation that's flying over your layout alone is amazing. What I would really like is an ANA aeroplane it would do in 1.44 scale. Or possibly even smaller, to be honest, just to give a bit of give you the idea of its layout. Just sort of put over the layout somehow. Maybe put a brass rod in or something that it can go into. But finding ANA aircraft is really awkward. I'm going to go to the Telford show this year, and I need to get cracking at some point on one of my modern Japanese aeroplanes to take along. I promised that I would be there with something to put on the stand. So yes, I'll be doing that show this year, later in the year. But the goal there is to find an ANA airliner to go over this. But yeah, I hope you don't have to do any talking tomorrow. I'm going really hoarse at the minute, and it's beginning to sound like our good king, as a monstrous carbuncle of an aeroplane flying over the railway. But, yeah. I don't know why I don't run this one more. It's a nice train. But yes, I mean there are some more buildings arriving, but I've got a feeling they're going to be too big for the layout. I don't know. I suppose actually I could put them in that corner, but then that takes away the space for a sort of Pringle thing. I suppose we could have a hill over there and just call it Pringle Hill. Doesn't need to actually have Pringle cans in it, is there? And it's, named in honour of Pringle Mountain. But yeah, so it's got some factory buildings coming next month, or later this month as well. But that'll be it, and then it will be July on the next train, and I think it's the first steam engine in July. I do have some really nice trainers. I'm really glad that actually more of them are modern image than steam era. I do love the old era. We did a good 70s running session yesterday, but that definitely, it was too much of the same colours, I think, for the crowd the people looking around, the visitors looking around. Because even the German layouts, obviously, even if I think it was steam they were running, so of course it's black, and a lot of the British Railways layouts are black or green. So, and then the Great Western layouts are dark green, the same green as the British Railways used. So I think by the time they got to mine and they saw dark coloured engines and coaches again, it was like, oh my god, here we go again. So, I know for shows, particularly to take more modern stuff. So I'm really glad that I've got all those coming. And the Shrine train got a load of love. I absolutely have to get the one with the prehistoric creatures on it now, because the amount of kids wearing dinosaur tops is just, amazing, so I'm sure they'd love that. The only thing I want to work out is stopping things at the station. Like, do I let them run through, or do I actually stop them or not? Like this one, at the minute, we're just running me around. Do I stop occasionally? But again, if people aren't stopping particularly long, it's a case of, well, we might as well keep them running. So yeah, I suppose that's the answer, isn't it? But yeah. Well, during the course of the stream, I can report more glue has dried. We're 2 minutes from the end here, I can see. This is saying 60 minutes already, but we will go to the hour. There will be a layout update video once I'm able to clear the deck again of the stuff weighing the bits of cork down. But yes, it was very surreal last night coming home, having food and putting the layout up here. And when I came up, just before I went to bed, I looked at it, I sent a picture to Gary and just said, it seems so strange for it to be back and so silent after 2 days of it being in constant use, pretty much. And seen by so many who've got photos, videos and memories of it to take home. And of course a special shout out has to go to, I'll say shout out just in mentioning them because I don't think I've got a channel, but just in case they're watching, I hope they know who they are. There was a lovely little boy with his mum and his grandma who kept coming back Saturday, and he was bouncing them down. He was so happy to see it each time, and that on its own made the whole thing worth it. Everything that had gone, all the effort I put in to get the layout to the show, that made it worth it in one swoop. And I'm really looking forward to the next one and making more children especially happy, but everyone happy hopefully, and sharing that thing of, look, you can do it, you can do it. And whatever, there was people saying to me, okay, King Fox, take care, sir, say hi to Rob for me. So I've got a wood permit myself. I really do have to catch up with this other friend of mine. But I did have some people say to me that it had encouraged them to do that layout, not set in the UK. I mean, I say to give them a shout out just because, and if they're watching, because he loved it so much that I gave them the channel name, so he can carry on watching it as well. And it's say that touched me there, and it was just fantastic. But yeah, say there are people there that they inspired them to do their non-UK based layouts. They were nervous about doing them, and it's exactly what I wanted to hopefully encourage in others, was this ability of you can do something different if you want to. There's nothing wrong with doing UK based layouts, of course, that's just as valid. But that's the point, is it's all valid. And there were some that just sort of glanced at it and walked on. You're not going to stop them. Sometimes I found if they stopped, then started to move stuff again, then they stopped again, I could get them by sort of saying, apologies for the look of it, it's only 2 weeks old, the truth of course. And then sometimes I'd actually cause them to stop and stay a bit longer and start asking questions, and they actually got getting quite into it. So, you never know, but you can't force people to stop anyway. But there was another chap who asked me to take some pictures and video because he'd come to a stop on his own layout, and he really enjoyed just watching the trains go around on this one. And was like, oh yeah, imagine hopefully we'll just find when we get home to actually get on and do some mine. And again, it was just so wonderful, so fantastic. It made it worth it again just to hear that. So yeah. Well, we're 3 minutes over now, so because I'm waffling on now. But no, thank you again, everyone who's supported me so far, who's given me hints and tips. I mean, Anthony, I've got 2 of yours right on here now. Well, not on here fully yet. The grass the method of putting down the grass is one thing. Also got the lights ready to go in, and everyone was saying what a great idea. In fact, the guy next to me, Martin, was doing the same sort of thing. You know, so thank you to everyone that's been, you know, Dale, everyone in the chat. You've all been so supportive. It's been wonderful. It's led me to a new aspect to life, and I'm looking forward to seeing how far it takes me and how much more I get to enjoy it. So, till next Monday, when hopefully we'll have the second track open again, I will say arigato gozaimasu and sayonara.